We're live, Mr. Byron Glass. Welcome to Two Gents Live. You know, we try to discuss many things out here, and Mr. Byron Glass, I know what the subject matter is tonight, and we're gonna get there. But what's going on in your life, man?
Oh, Mr. Spice, good afternoon, man. Great Tuesday evening. Spring is in the air. Daylight saving time is in full effect. We got an extra hour plus in each individual today to get actively and get involved in something in your community, in your neighborhood. Ron, pretty much everything is about the same over here. Well, I'm Nelson, but needless to say, we still, doing everything that we can, how we can, whoever we can with, and we trying to make some headway, man. Got a very interesting subject tonight that will be taught by an historian himself,
Mm-hmm.
one of our weekly co-hosts, A.F. Riggins. He's not new to the scene. This is something we've been doing since 2012, 13, 14, one of those years. So we got receipts to prove that we're not just out here bumping our gums. We fact check. We do whatever it takes to enlighten and inform versus distorting the message and divide the people. So, Ron, good afternoon.
Hey, man, really to tell you the truth, we fact checked ourselves because last week I got dug into on an issue, and they didn't let up on me.
Yeah,
And it just, it's good because when you putting out information or you going through videos and stuff like that, and you trying to direct a show in a certain direction, sometimes you need to fact check the people that's on there.
right.
I need to correct it before Pastor Riggins get here. I should have said it, and when I went back and reread it, it was Cory Booker that I was talking about, and I had to
Right.
text Glass, and I had to text Pastor Riggins, and I kind of like I was chewing the fat meat, so to speak. So I said to myself, I said, then John came in, and John was just sitting back laughing at the situation. So I was like, man, they fact checking me too. Glass come up with the thing. Ron, I kind of think that you might be wrong on that one. Ron, Ron, I'm willing to bet you on that.
Hey, I stood my ground, man.
I'm willing to bet you on. I want that lottery ticket that you just won.
Yeah, I try to stand my ground, man. Ron, I tell you, yesterday was pretty interesting. Me and the co-host that just come on, we got together, hadn't seen each other in 10, 15, 20 years, got
Oh
together,
man.
chopped it up, ate at Huddle House, and delved into multiple conversations. Man, it was kind of like one of those old reunions where you see some of your old friends that you really want to see, but 99% of the time, man, I'll just be honest. Anybody in my past, whether I went to school with them or not, man, I'm not trying to see them.
Mm.
I'm just
Yeah.
being honest.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got to be lucky, right?
Yeah, well, no, not lucky, but hey, it happened and I enjoyed it, bro.
So you
Absolutely.
said that was a one-time, one-off thing? It won't happen
No,
again?
hey, now you can create your own words, but you can't put them in my mouth.
I appreciate it.
Yeah,
You talking to Byron Glass? Hey man, I know we here, and I know we love to have fun, and we can have all the fun we want to. But I'm gonna ask this question since Pastor Regan's not here. Um, who is Elon Musk? What got Elon Musk to where he's at, and how did he come up so fast in the ranks other than money? I'm curious.
well,
John,
Ron,
I'm going
Go
with
ahead,
John.
Byron.
I ain't doing that with you, Byron.
Trip, go ahead on.
No, I mean, for what I know, I'd never heard of the guy until he weaseled his way in and basically stole Tesla from the two guys who created it.
Hmm.
Didn't know a thing about him, and that's all I know. Didn't know a thing about him before that. But people think he created or started Tesla. He didn't. I forget the guys' names who actually founded Tesla. Uh, and I don't know if he got on the board or how he got to it. but he ended up taking it or stealing it from them, or maybe not directly stealing it, but in business, you can maneuver yourself to be a majority owner of anything if you
Yeah.
got the right money and people that'll back you. Because all you have to do is just get the board to say, hey, look, I mean, they'll dump shares to one guy. They'll sell some of their shares to him. So he's now the majority owner, unless they have some kind of poison pill clauses or something. But like I said, I don't know how he got it. But once he did that, he was all of a sudden a superstar.
I agree with you, John.
Well, Trill, let me just add a little bit to that. You don't know nothing about the devil other than he's evil.
Well, I mean, I
And
know
that's
where he
enough.
comes from.
That's enough.
I know where he comes from. And that to me was enough.
My point is that no matter what you know about him, you've seen his actions, and ways and actions speak louder than words, so you know who he is.
I absolutely know who he is, and I know what he is.
Exactly.
I didn't have to see a salute to know. Honestly, it's where he came from. We're, as much as we maybe
That's the
not
part.
understand it, we're all a product of where we are from. There are some of the things that we have ingrained into us based on our history of where we are. And I mean, in the U.S., we know the history of the United States as directed towards us. We know our history here, which is the history of this country, no matter how you see it. So South Africa has its own issue. They had their own issue, still do. But yes, they at least tried to pretend to address it in a way.
Well, Trib, I've been to South Africa, so I can tell you they didn't pretend to address it. When you go there and you go through the historical tours, they tell you exactly what happened, how it happened, who was involved, and they ask you if you want the truth before they give it to you. So Musk and his family comes from apartheid under F.W. de Klerk, who was responsible for doing, back in Mandela days. And if you go back and read all of that, I went to the actual places. I went to Robben Island. I went to the cell where he was at. So this is nothing new to people that do a little research. Again, when you're trying to enlighten and inform, all you got to do is tell the truth. You don't have to lie, and let it stick for itself. Let it speak for itself. So at the end of the day, tonight's show is about who is Musk. Now, Riggins is supposed to be on. I'm not sure why he's tired or whatever the case may be, but run if you want to, because this is something that he wanted to delve into, and I don't want to take away any of his limelight. So at the end of the day, if you want to kind of divert to something else until he come in, we can postpone the show if he don't come in. But we can always pick a topic off the cuff, impromptu, whatever the case may be, because hey, at the end of the day, it's all about conversation that we have anyway, in the barbershop, beautician shop, outside the church house, in the neighborhood, on the streets. It's common conversation that we have.
Absolutely. And before I get from there, I got some questions for you, Glass.
Go shoot them at.
Because you went there. You visited there. I remember when you went.
I got the receipt.
When you went over there and you visit, and did it change your opinion of anything just being in the country? Because what I see, even though the whites have left the country, I still see rich blacks and poor blacks. I mean, it's like a settlement built with cardboard houses, and the rich blacks are right next to them. I mean, I don't see them, and I hate to say it, but I don't see them picking up the poor people to help them get to where they at. And that might be a long question, but I want you to kind of indulge in your expertise since you've been there.
Ron, the revelation to me was, one, it was a pilgrimage. It allowed me to connect to what my ancestry was all about. Number one. Number two, rather than seeing a lot of the lies that mainstream media put out, on the television about these African countries. As a matter of fact, my daughter just came back from Nigeria back for the month of December. Totally different perspective. My advice is I would hope that everybody had the opportunity to go and see for themselves. Rich in natural resources, has everything that God has left on this natural earth for man. And that's why all of these other countries are doing whatever it is that they can do to try to break into the the oil refineries, the gold refineries, the natural resources, all of the hemp medication types of things that come from there. But when you talk to the people, they would tell you that apartheid is nothing but Jim Crow. Apartheid is nothing but segregation. Apartheid is a system that has been created to continue to dismantle, human mankind. Apartheid is one of the most evil aspects of the African heritage. Well, they may say, well, didn't blacks own slaves or whatever? That's kind of ridiculous. We have well-off black people now that try to suppress black people. It's no difference. But that's not the aspect that I look at. I've heard people say, well, what's the difference between a black person shooting a black person and a non-black person shooting a black person? Well, here's the difference. A black person is shooting a black person because of whatever. A non-black person is shooting this person because of their color, simply because of their color. So there are two different things that needs to be noticed. So you have people that have this ignorant base, this ignorant philosophy that have no research under their belt. So they go off of the indoctrination that this is true. They refuse to go out and look for the facts or look for what the realities are. So once the reality leave the conversation run and the logic leave the conversation, for me, I'm out. South Africa is a beautiful place. I would advise anybody to go. And if you're out there listening, just go look up the history of apartheid and what Nelson Mandela fought F.W. de Klerk for, along with the other individuals over in South Africa. As a matter of fact, I'll try to find a photo before the night is over with. I met the president of Mozambique and his chief of staff all in a hotel, which I had the opportunity to ask them that specific question. So you're not talking about somebody that just came off the street. Africa is a great place. Do they have their issues? Yes. The question is, Ron, like I always said, I'll be done. There's always a cause and effect. Okay, we always deal with the effect, but we never want to talk about the cause. And the cause is why you see people wanting to get rid of what history is, because getting rid of history will eliminate you from finding out the cause why it happened. Trib, I'll yield to you and John.
Oh no. Hey, I appreciate that, man. I didn't get to go on the continent that far south, but yeah, but that's like almost. I've been to the Middle East, but that's that thing. You go to other places, you like Glass said, you hear about it, you may read about it, you hear about it on mainstream media, and then you go there and it's like, man, that's nothing like that. So, and you tend to appreciate, what you have and how different this place is, but you expect the people to be, a whole lot different, but they're not. They go through the same things we all do. So I see Rev is in now, so that's
And Mr.
Glass,
Spike,
yeah, man.
excuse the dust, but this is a whole book of South Africa. I'm gonna pull some of these pictures. Here, this is on the Indian Ocean. And my point is, so for anybody that's out there, we're not just throwing stuff out there. I'm glad that A.F. Riggin, the historian, is in tonight. Who is Elon Musk? I'm gonna yield to y'all.
Well, Pastor, welcome in. I told Glass that you was gonna be running a little late, and we just kind of got on the subject, and basically what we didn't try to invade. We wanted to let that message come from you. So we talked about Byron visiting South Africa and where Elon Musk was from, and that's where we at right now. So, floor is yours, Pastor.
Good evening. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yes, I'm glad to be here, guys. I apologize, I'm running late. I had a school function tonight, and everything just ran at one thing. But we're here.
Yes, sir.
We're here. Thank you, Baron Glass, for showing us the information about South Africa. And it relates to our subject because I've been pressing for a few weeks to talk about Elon Musk. The whole concept of Trump presidency from 45, when he was the 45th president, One of the statements he made was that I don't have to follow the Constitution. I'm rich. Now, of course, Trump has money, but he inflates the money he has because he lost a lot of money. He really wasn't rich. He uses other people's money. He uses his name, other people's properties. He knows how to get his hands on money, maybe in nefarious ways. Probably why a lot of the people that's tied to him is not afraid of Trump, but they have been found ways to get backdoor money, crooked money, and he will expose them. However, when Trump began to want to run as 47, Elon Musk got involved. Elon Musk is a billionaire, very rich guy, but now over the last few months, he's lost a lot of his money in Tesla because of his politics. But he arrived to this position by creating the Tesla car, all-electric car, very future-oriented, very sophisticated car. And even some of the cars can drive short distances by themselves. By coming out of the cyber sector of the world, he then built a big fortune for himself and a big name, and began to have contracts with NASA and with the defense of the United States. Elon Musk decided to put his eggs in the basket with Trump. On January 21st, or January the 6th, 2021, was it January the 6th? Yes. When they had the insurrection, Trump's actions, his falsehoods, basically lies, caused him to be put out of a lot of social media. And one of those social media was Twitter. Elon Musk decided to put his eggs in the basket with Trump. And Elon Musk is rich. Elon Musk saw that he came from South Africa. South Africans, Anglos who live in South Africa from German descent are called Afrikaners. They're the reason why Nelson Mandela was in jail. Nelson Mandela and the movement during that time in the 60s was rising up against these colonizers. Afrikaners are colonizers. Just as the French colonized a lot of Africa, British colonized India, China colonized other parts of the world. British was on 5 continents at one time. South Africa was part of it. And so Mandela rose up against this and was fighting against apartheid. What we would call segregation over here was called apartheid over there.
Right.
And in the 1980s, it was so bad. The Winans even made one of the Winans albums in which the first album that was produced by Quincy Jones when they left Light Records, went into secular production, was Let My People Go. And the song Let My People Go was a song about how Moses took the children of Israel out of Egypt. And we've got to stand up against apartheid in South Africa. Mandela was in jail. And Mandela got freed in the 90s, came out of jail, and became the first Black president of the Democratic South Africa. Elon Musk, just as Trump, looked at Obama being the first African American president of the United States. And Obama was truly an African American. What I mean by that is his parents, none of his parents came through slavery. None of Obama's parents came through slavery. His dad was a Muslim. So his name is Barack Hussein Obama. And every time Trump says his name, he's going to say Barack Hussein Obama, trying to tie his name with a militant Muslim ideology because of Saddam Hussein, right? When Obama became president, the people began to holler, "We want our country back." Anglo-Americans said, "We want our country back." Trump says Obama was born in Kenya and not in America.
Come on, teacher, pastor.
The birth of the movement. And that's what drove Trump to popularity. Uneducated, poor, mostly Anglo-Americans, and middle-class Anglo men who wanted power again. Because statistics said that by 2042, most of America was going to be people of color, what we call black and brown, even though we all are brown, but some darker than others. But that came quicker than 2042.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the population of America, Anglo-Americans are outnumbered, mainly because by law, if you have one drop of black blood,
come on, pastor,
consider African American. If you have one drop of Hispanic blood, you consider Hispanic. So on any form, it will say, are you Hispanic or non-Hispanic? That's the first thing. So whether you have African American blood in you, white, Anglo-American, Asian, if you're Hispanic, you're gonna get a check by that. And then if you have any black in you, you're gonna consider black. So that tells you then you're not Anglo-American, the numbers are low. So Trump says, hey, make America great again. And I could take you to pictures that show this same concept after Jim Crow or during Jim Crow or Reconstruction. When Reconstruction came along, the Republican Party was mostly Abraham Lincoln, people who wanted to free slaves, abolitionists, and black Americans who began in the Congress from Mississippi to South and everywhere. And the Ku Klux Klan says, make America great again.
Come on, Riggins.
Woodrow Wilson led a Ku Klux Klan rally during the time of World War I, make America great again. Ku Klux Klan people sitting outside of churches with a big sign saying Jesus saves, with a burning cross and a mask on their face. This is the concept of Africana that Elon Musk has. Because he comes into America, he can never be elected to be president of the United States because he's not an American citizen. Now, because he's been here long enough, he may can get into Congress or some other thing like that, but that's not what he wanted. He saw that Trump needed to be revitalized. Trump needed to be put back in office. He threw his eggs in the basket, bought Twitter, lost money on Twitter, and called it X. Use that mouthpiece, that platform Twitter, to get the message out. Gave Trump almost $300 million into his campaign. And now he comes to the Oval Office and his son tells Trump, get out of my daddy seat. Even that's tongue in cheek, but it's true. He creates this, what is the department it's called? Department of what?
Governmental efficiency, DOGE.
Governmental efficiency, DOGE, which means I know how to spend money because I'm rich. We hide behind the concept we're going to make it efficient. What we're trying to get rid of is anything that looks like it's going to help anybody that's of color or not of the class that we see. It's a race war and a class war. You could be white and poor, that war's against you too. You don't just have to be black. It's called the oligarchs. This concept comes from Russia, where Putin puts around him all these rich people and people of power and wealth to help him make decisions for the government. This is all Trump has done. He's found mouthpieces of people put off of Fox News, folk who said they don't like what's going on, of people that getting help of other races, whatever. And Elon Musk is the champion of it all, even to the point till it's not even just here in America. This is why Europeans are fighting against him. He wants a new world order. And the new world order is this. Just as Hitler had the Third Reich, he wants to put together his own establishment of Anglos on every continent ruling the world. And this is what Elon Musk is trying to do. And his base has become the presidency, the 47th president of Donald Trump. And so he's losing money everywhere. Germany, England, everywhere they're losing money. His Tesla is losing money, dropping, stock is dropping because they say, listen, this man is crazy. He's trying to come in and change the whole new world order. And with this, Trump sees this and Trump throws him a bone. Come to the White House. They sell about 200 of those armored car vehicles. They're like space trucks to people who's in Trump administration or around it or connected to it. And Trump buys a vehicle, and then Elon Musk gives him another $100 million. And also, on Inauguration Day, he has the nerve to make the I Hitler salute. This stuff is intentional. This stuff is dangerous. We're headed. Matter of fact, on Monday, they were having a meeting on what if we go to war with China. And guess who's in the middle of the meeting? Elon Musk.
Mm-hmm.
People, I could see this in the book of Revelation. I'm not going to say he's the false prophet or the beast, but the concept of a beast coming up out the sea and the mark of the beast of what's going to rule the world is the concept of this ideal of we marry religion, not relationship, not Christianity, religion with politics. And so you have all of these evangelical believers and Christians, so to speak, backing Trump and Elon Musk because it's saying that the good old boy, the Anglo-American male, the Christian Anglo-American male should be in control, not an African-American woman like Kamala Harris, not Barack Obama, who's the first black president, and furthermore, erase all the history of people like the Tuskegee Airmen and Jackie Robinson out of the Pentagon files, and the list goes on under the premise of DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion. Well, Africana, we including you. Africana, we including you. You don't belong here. We're including you. But this is the foundation where I'm coming from, and we can talk about it more. But it's this dangerous. And I can go through some stuff. Robert Reich and a lot of other people who've been posting on podcasts and other Facebook and social media posts. I give you very much more details of all the things Elon Musk is involved in, hands involved in, and what the big goal is. But it's more than just the United States. It's a new world order they're trying to bring in, and it could very much lead to a third world war, but it definitely is leading to a lot of hurt and pain here in the United States because of what Elon Musk is doing.
You know, pastors, I listen to you. One of the things that, and I'm gonna give you a chance to catch your breath because you came in with that fire burning. But as I listen to you, I'm trying to digest because I listen to Glass and here's where I go. Elon Musk came from the country of South Africa. Elon Musk came from a place where they're holding people down. They're not letting people excel. He grew up in an environment where he was in charge of everything. As a matter of fact, I heard his father make a statement, and he said that, it's no way that Elon could be prejudiced because he had black servants. That's words out of his own mouth, Black servants. He didn't say black friends. He didn't say black associates. He said there's no way in the world because he saw Elon go out of his way with his black servants to make a difference. And that doesn't go away because if you were born that way, what do you think you think about everybody else? And last but least, maybe, just maybe, in all of this, he thinks that he can. America had a lot of influence in South Africa being overturned because we participated and we did a lot of things. Maybe he's saying, you know what? I can get them back, Dad. I can get them back. Just let me get to America and work my way through their system and get up there. I get them back. Just my thoughts. And I yield to anybody else who want to come in after them.
Well, I mean, and I'm sitting there listening to you, Ron. and I think Riggins will agree to this. You got to be awfully sick. You got to be awfully evil to hate or dislike somebody just because of how God created them. But you call yourself a Christian. You are a sick individual that without getting too far left or right or whatever you want to call it. Only thing I'm gonna say, Ron, you got to be sick. You really got to be illiterate because the slave master owned slaves, but he still had sex with the women. It makes absolutely no sense for people with their comebacks to say, well, racism is about power, oppression, and control. Okay, and I was taught from the people that I grew up with that Riggins, it's no way that the so-called minority can utilize power and oppression and control over the so-called majority. And this is a textbook definition of what racism is. So we can be prejudiced, we can dislike you, we can hate, but you can't be racist because we don't have the tools to be racist. Okay, yeah. And that's what people don't understand. So we're not saying that we're okay with it. No, I'm not okay with nobody hating somebody. If Riggins, Tribble, or Spikes on here dislike any of my friends that were non-black because they were non-black, I got a problem with you. That's how I roll. Okay, that's how I defend who I am. But because I'm talking about this, doesn't mean that I'm against this over here. Okay, so I think a man got to stand for something or fall for anything. At the end of the day, apartheid was ignorant, it was stupid, it was illiterate. It comes from a system that was created by evil people, carried out by evil people, and the good book pastor, it always tells you, you can tell by the fruits of a person's labor. Okay, if you like pigs or hogs, you're going to surround yourself with pigs and hogs. Okay, if you like horses, you're going to surround yourself with horses. If you like people of other races, you're going to surround yourself with those people, no matter who they are. You're not going to segregate yourself and do everything that you can do to dismantle whatever it is that you say you support. So at the end of the day, again, we're trying to enlighten and inform. People can listen to what they want to listen to, but judge based on a person's actions. I'm going to yield to you, Tripp.
I'm mesmerized, man. I'm just hearing it. I'm listening to everything everybody's saying, and there's this one constant drumbeat, and it goes back to Elon Musk. It really does. As he didn't start this, just like Trump didn't start this, but they caught on to the drumbeat that's been out there. Hey, ever since we supposedly got freed, got emancipated.
Well, the Tea Party started.
Well, I mean, yeah, and I agree. It's that constant drumbeat of we need to get them back in their place. It's just been there. And they are just tools to get that done. Very good tools, I might add. But it wouldn't be so if people weren't willing, if they weren't willing to go there. Like Glass said, you can't make me hate somebody that I don't for no reason.
Right.
Just how do you do it? You just can't.
It's sickness.
So if you have that, if you have that in you, or even if it's dormant and it's in you, and somebody can say something and bring that out, and you go, yeah, that's right. Why is it like that? We should be standing up for ourselves. We should be in charge of everything here. This is our country. If you can go from being benevolent to that, you had it in you in the first place. So that's when I see Elon Musk. It's like, yeah, he's trained in racism. Apartheid did it. He grew up in it. He knows how the game's played. So yeah, that's where this all bothers me. At the root of it, everybody who's a Trumper or a fan of Musk and this whole thing of Doge, and it's like, hey, yeah, he's gonna fix his government. He's gonna get all the fraud and abuse and waste out of here. No, never gonna happen. As long as you have government entities and people running them, and there's any kind of slack where there can be any kind of gap that can be taken either way, they're going to fudge it to enhance themselves. So yes, there will always be some of that. You cannot get rid of it. So,
But
go ahead. I'm going to start rambling in a minute.
no.
It won't get pretty. Let me put it to you that way.
I think Ron would agree with this because he and I have talked about it. See, remember, Democrats wanted to get rid of waste, fraud, and abuse. Okay, I don't have a problem with getting rid of waste, fraud, and abuse, but I think there's a way, Pastor, that seems right, but in the end, it leads to destruction. Okay, and there's another way that it can be done because you're actually inflicting pain and suffering on the very people that you said you wanted to help. So there's philosophies that's out there. I disagree with this philosophy. I disagree with who's implementing the philosophy based on who they are and what they represent. Okay, so if it was John McCain, Mitt Romney, John Kasich, Bob Dole, Michael Steele, somebody from the other side that was reasonable, that was logical, that still felt the pain of other people, Pastor Riggins, I wouldn't have no issue with that. But I have an issue with evil people trying to implement things and using a certain religion to implement this stuff. So these are my opinions. I dislike both of them. I have nothing to say good about them. At the end of the day, when the smoke clear and the dust settle, you got to stand for something. And I don't like either one of them. I hope that they are very unsuccessful in their term. I hope it don't hurt too many people that are out there that are suffering. But I hope that they are unsuccessful with the implementation of what they're trying to do. And I stand on that.
Let me add to this. When you said that Elon Musk's dad said he was good to his servants, that's that Jim Crow mentality.
Right.
Watch the movie Driving Miss Daisy. Watch the movie The Help. Watch the series Eyes on the Prize that talked about civil rights. That whole Southern mentality was, we're not treating our Negroes wrong, our colored folk wrong, our Indians wrong. We take care of them. They just need to stay in their place.
Yep. Stay in your place.
We're treating them like we always treated them.
Right. We're treating them like they always treated. They know that, hey, look, we don't want them to drink our water fountain because we want their cooties. They don't want our cooties. They can't sit in front of the bus because we don't want no mixing of the races. So that's that whole concept. Second thing, Elon Musk represents what the ideal of that Anglo-American men is supposed to be smarter than anybody else in the world. He's a genius in what he does, as far as Tesla and technology and stuff. So he's riding on that genius to say, look, this is what the banner person is supposed to be. This is what the high mark of who we are. And I'm going to bring us to the top and everybody else under us. Now, the government has been playing a role in this. Let me tell you this. Biden, that's why I say the Democrats are weak. The Democrats are weak, brother. Let me show you this. In 2013, who was the president in 2013? Obama. The government awarded nearly $6 million in contracts to SpaceX.
One of his companies.
$600 million. $600 million awarded to SpaceX in 2013 on Obama.
While he was a Democrat.
Hold your horses. 2024. While he's helping Trump taking over Twitter, it awarded more than $3.8 billion in contracts. Now 2025, Biden's sitting at the White House, sleepy Joe Biden. Now, I know Trump called him that. I know the man had a lot of stuff going on. Biden had a lot of people working for him. They really got a lot of stuff done. But one thing that I believe that Biden slipped up on was two things. He didn't keep his word about not running again. And second thing is he never watched his blind side. You sitting here, this man is pushing Trump to run. If Biden was in the race, Trump gonna run against you. He has Elon in the back pocket while the government has him in the front pocket. $3.8 billion. Well, he sent the SpaceX up there and get the people that was stuck in there for 9 months. He got them out of space. Yeah, but you can't. That's called conflict of interest. At some point, when he bought Twitter, at some point when he started giving money to Trump for a campaign, the government should cut off all contracts. But the problem of America is run on capitalism, not on democracy. We are a republic. A republic means representative democracy. So representative democracy means we vote on people to go do stuff for us. And guess what? We vote on people to go up there, but guess who make them do the stuff? The lobbyists. So for everybody who got something involved in SpaceX, for every material, for every ironworks, for every computer chip, for everybody that's involved in making this stuff work, they're locked up in stock with these politicians, and they're gonna look the other way as long as it don't hurt them.
Yeah,
that's the problem. They look the other way as long as it don't hurt them, and then the average everyday man like you and I, who trying to play by the rules, by trying to be a good citizen, and happen to be another color, like you say, racism is rampant, and you only could be empowered to be racist. We could discriminate, we could be prejudiced, we can hate, but we can never be racist.
Right.
And so when they start calling us racist, they're illegally. I mean, they're using that word in a wrong way, and a misinformed way, and it does not exist. An Hispanic American, an African American, and an Asian American, because let's not forget about the diggers. What do you mean diggers? We would call N-word. I don't want to say it, but the Asian people call diggers. Why? They had them digging out the gold mines. It both rhyme. Pay attention. The Chinese came over here. They had them digging out the gold mine, and when the gold mines closed up, they dug up the railroad. Diggers and iggers. I ain't gonna say the N-word. None of us could be racist because we don't have the power base, nor do we have the position to be racist. We can hate, we can discriminate and prejudice, but the power of racism is you can put one man in place called a DOGE and use him, and the motive is wrong. Yes, there need to be some cutting. Yes, there need to be some reshaping. Yes, there need to be some efficiency. But no, the motive is wrong. Yes, sir.
Right. Go ahead, John.
Oh no, I when you brought up SpaceX, that just almost put me in a tizzy. 22 billion.
24 billion.
Since he got involved with all of, he's scooped up about somewhere between 22 to 24 billion dollars. 6 billion just last year for SpaceX alone. So yeah, he's cleaning up with the government. He's cleaning up, and that's why they talk about his successful launches. I guess people don't pay attention to all the misfires and the failed launches that he has in between the actual successful launches. But they say our government can't do it. Our government can't do this. But they were doing it before Elon Musk came along. Maybe not as efficiently, but they were doing it.
Rick, I got a question. You're a historian. I was just sitting there thinking, can you name, or is there one thing that can be named that America has achieved without force and aggression?
Not one. Look at the war in Iraq. Remember Trump said, y'all fought a stupid war because y'all supposed to get the oil. Where's the oil? Everything we've done has been by force and aggression.
And if you juxtaposition that with what the words talks about with force and aggression, it's no way that you can't see what you're supposed to see. But it says, Riggins, that somewhere like, and this is paraphrasing, in the end, there will be those who fall by the wayside, and I'm paraphrasing. So there will be some who, for whatever reason, they won't follow the light. They'll follow the darkness, and that's okay. That's for them to do. But at the end of the day, I think my understanding, Riggins, is this: If you believe in something and you have faith, you're supposed to keep moving forward. Because in the end, that faith is what's going to carry you over that hill or that mountain that you may end up facing. David and Goliath, for example. Okay, so again, my point is you have an oligarch who is trying to dismantle what the structure of this particular place is, because Riggins has gotten too much. Tribble has received too much. And Ron is saying too much. If you look at Mandela, if you look at Martin, if you look at Medgar Evers, if you look at Al Sharpton, if you look at Farrakhan, if you look at any man who has had a mouthpiece and spoke out against, you're a troublemaker. As long as you are silent, like Byron Daniels, Tim Scott, as long as you licking the wounds, you're okay, man.
They took Medgar Evers out of the annals of the military in Arlington Cemetery stuff.
Yeah.
This is blatant.
Right.
It's targeted.
Don't get me wrong. They also took out any mention of the plane that dropped the bomb on Hiroshima because it had the name Enola Gay with it. Now, I'm not knocking anything to do with anybody, how they live their lifestyle. But again, that's a historical name that has nothing to do with somebody's lifestyle. We didn't learn it as in school when we learned about, how World War II ended with Japan. We didn't learn it as, well, that's a plane and it was a gay plane. That's not how it went down. It was just called Enola Gay. Pilots name their planes. That's how planes get names. They may name it for a girl back home or whatever. It doesn't matter. That's just what they do. But this government decide, hey, we got to get rid of all instances of DEI and references to all these other non-white Christian groups. Let's get rid of it. It's insane. To me, that's just kind of like we'll throw that in. Mm-hmm. But hey, I'm trying to get rid of everything that
Yeah, I'm
just
sorry.
gotta go.
I didn't mean to cut you off, John.
Oh no.
I just said I was agreeing with you. We sit here and we have these discussions on Tuesdays, and every once in a while we need to educate, as Pastor has done. And Glass texts me in the background. He said, Pastor is teaching. Sometimes you need to learn something from a podcast. It can't just be about one-liners. It can't just be about we're going this direction and we all got. But this particular subject, you need to learn. We need to learn. We need to educate. And Pastor, I appreciate you for educating. That picture up there just shows you Trump is all in on Musk. He's got his whole family and everything with him. So that means that this was a plan ahead of time. This was planned ahead of time. One thing about Trump, I'll say this, and I'm gonna take past this. He don't mess with no broke. And I'm gonna let y'all finish it off. But he don't mess with no broke people. He messes with a certain type person, and that's it. If you ain't got more than what he got, he ain't talking to you. He looks down on you. Yeah, he was popular when he could use black people to promote fights and all the rest of that in New York and do all the things that he did, and people still brag on him about what he did then. But he was using them to get what he wanted.
And that's what the devil does. The devil uses you.
So I just want to say that you have to be reminded of who this person is and how they got to where they not just Elon Musk, but Trump himself. Both of them came from money.
And both of them came from racism too.
Yeah, both of them, but they fathers.
Trump daddy was Ku Klux Klan. They arrested in 1927.
And their fathers represent that. And
Mm-hmm.
and it goes back generations, as you just mentioned, John. Let's not forget that.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that.
Also,
Somebody,
look
can
at Trump.
somebody,
Go ahead.
no, I was just going to say, can somebody tell me if I wrote down all of the missteps that Donald Trump has had since he's been in business? I put all his lawsuits, failed businesses, bankruptcies, criminal charges. If I put all that on a sheet and posted that on the internet and said, "Is this the person that you want to lead the free world, to be president of the United States?" 99% of them would say no. Without knowing about Trump already, I can promise you, 99% of the people would say no. Explain to me, and I already know the answer. I'm hoping I already know the answer. Explain to me why people with, and I say it all the time when I'm posting stuff. Explain to me why people with a brain can look at his qualifications and say that's the guy that's gonna be okay for this country. Now I got my own thoughts about it.
Well,
And y'all
Trill,
probably heard them.
well, let's look at everybody in that picture right there. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll bring it back up, Glass. Go ahead.
Let's look at everybody in that picture right there. If either one of them had a kid, Riggins,
Mhm.
and their kid was at school being bullied, would they have a problem? Absolutely.
Not long.
But you supporting the bully. If every one of them right there had something done to them based on force from a sexual standpoint, every last one of them would have a problem. But what it is, man, to me, it's just hypocrisy based on hypocrites. And rather than spend my time on what they're doing, I'm like Muhammad Ali. I'm going back to the boxing ring and I'm trying to figure out what it is that they did that I can do better so I can come out successful the next go around. I ain't concerned about all this stuff.
Let me say two things. The reason why Trump got into the presidency this time, because 33% of America are Republicans, 33% of America independents, and 33% of Americans are Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
There were enough on the margins, and I really believe this. And it might take a few years for it to come out, because it's not like the first time with the Mueller report and all this. And even after the Mueller report came out, they hid it. There was some that Elon Musk tied with the tech industry.
Yes.
There are some people who came out and shown that with the shaving of the votes, like purging the rolls, throwing out votes, there were enough in the margins to flip counties to make states be lost. There were less people voted for Kamala Harris than voted for Joe Biden.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe the election was stolen, but it's going to have to be proven out for some years. But second thing is, the sad part about they had enough of people on the margins to be able to have that leverage to do that. That's what the problem of it is.
And Rick, while Ron got this photo up here right now, let's deal with racism based on the textbook's definition.
Yes.
If Don King was right here with those guys right now, if he said anything against what they wanted him to say, they can do whatever they want to do to him, right, Riggins? They can stop him from making money, doing whatever.
Right.
But if me, Riggins, or Tribble was there and Don King was saying whatever it was that he wanted to say, we dislike it, what could we do? Absolutely nothing. So the textbook definition is about power, oppression, and control, none of which what we have.
None of it.
So when you look at, as long as King is saying what he's supposed to say, he'll never have a problem. But anybody, friend, family member, whatever, if you say anything against the devil's got opposition to it. It's thin skin. All the attributes of what's talked about relative to Lucifer. When you see him, that's reality. It ain't what you want it to be. It's what you see. So again, Ron, I don't even like wasting time, talking about a nobody or somebody that's unfit to me. So I don't want to waste my time other than enlightening other people. Now, you can take what's being said and you can go fact check it yourself. You can take what's being said and throw it in the garbage can if you want to. Again, we're not distorting the message. What we're doing is telling you what's there, and you decipher for yourself. Both of those guys right there are power hungry, financial oligarchs. And if you look at what it say, Riggins, the love
of money
the
is the
love,
root of all evil.
exactly.
And second thing, two things I'm gonna say. When you had the picture of the whole families up there, look at Trump's administration. Show me one brown or black speck in it.
Absolutely. I don't
Look at
know.
Trump administration.
Not
Completely Anglo America and an Afrikaner. And let me say
except for
one.
two bodies. Two bodies.
I see.
One you haven't seen in a while. Herschel
Who?
Walker. Herschel Walker. He's
Uh-oh.
an ambassador to Haiti or some island country. Has
Okay.
anybody heard from him since he got that post? Anybody?
And who else?
And there's a ex NFL football player out of Texas who is again got that black folks job, HUD.
Mm.
And the only time you may see him on TV with Trump is when they have one of their cabinet meetings. He wants him to pray at the beginning.
Mm.
Wow. Yeah, Herschel Walker.
As soon as I saw that, I had to turn the TV volume down. I couldn't take it.
I don't even watch this stuff.
I'm gonna let you, hey, Glass. I'm gonna let you do this, and then
Yeah,
I'm gonna bring in.
Haiti was an SHIT whole country.
Right,
Mm.
right.
Can I interrupt my brothers?
Absolutely.
Good
Come on in.
evening, good evening, my brothers.
Introduce yourself, man.
Yes, I'm Roadman. I'm part of the Baritone Brothers on 365 Live. Now I'm doing a podcast too, and my part of my podcast, the first half is his story.
Mm-hmm.
HISSTORY,
Yes, sir.
because that's all we're getting is his story. Now, how are we getting his story? What they doing right now? We got somebody from South Africa that's not even an elected official. He stole millions and billions from South Africa during apartheid. And if you don't believe me, do the research. And he comes over here. First, he went to Canada. And if you don't know, they kicked him out of Canada. Why? Now he comes here with this orange head clown and he's strung out. Hey, look, I'm 60. I'm 68 years old. I ain't got time to play no games or nothing like that. I was an ex junkie, and I know a junkie when I see a junkie. And Elon Musk is a junkie. He's strung out on methamphetamine and ketamine because if you look at him, he either got glasses on or he can't stand still. I was a junkie. So how are you gonna let a junkie into our most sensitive information? That's because they're trying to take us out. Systematically, like Roland Martin said, when they took our civil rights from us, we can sit here and talk and debate about it all we want. But we got to get this message out to the people. Because right now they're trying to destroy us. But they can't destroy us. Why? We then had over 400 years of slavery. We done had over I don't know how long of segregation. I don't know how long of systemic racism. And now we got DEI and they think we going anywhere. Now they try to deport people for why?
Mm.
Why? Because of the color of their skin. And for you brothers that don't know, the state of Nebraska in the next 2 months will fold. Why? Because 60% of their revenue is in agriculture. 65% of the workforce was migrants, and
Mm.
they were 60% in debt at the beginning of the year. 666. They're targeting us to go back to slavery. Why you think he enacted the 1798 Act?
Mr.
Roman, I'm glad you
Roadman.
came on. Let me tell you what, I'm a history teacher, and every year,
Hmm?
well, I'm out of class from now. For the first 20 some years, I was in the history class. On the first day of the class, I put a book in front of them. So what does it say? History. So what does it say? History? No, read it again. His story. Whoever writes the book is his story. And they keep writing the book, and we keep reading that book. We got to write our own book. I said,
That's
I'm going to
right.
tell you his story, our story, everybody's story. They're going to test you on his story. But until we know our story, we don't know where we're going. So I appreciate that from you on that. And I'm glad you got into our broadcast tonight.
Yeah,
Man, you
yeah,
know the thing about it, man, we got to look at how, look, I was a deacon for 5 years and I'm originally from Michigan. I was a deacon for 5 years. I studied the book, you
hmm,
know. I'm not a preacher, nothing like that. I'm a believer, you know. And I hope all you brothers is believers too. But the thing about it, we still have to interact on what's going on in our lives.
absolutely.
Because I'm gonna interact with all you brothers. Because if we don't come together as one, like we did in the '60s. I was born in '56. I don't know if anybody was born that long ago, but that was me. '56. I
Hmm.
I come up through. Hey, I watched them destroy the Black Panther Party because one man said it was a threat to what? Our democracy.
Hey, Roadman.
And he was gay.
Roadman,
They
can you put a pin in it just for a second? Byron Glass
Hmm.
has we have some comments on YouTube. I want to get their comments out because we try to give everybody a voice here. We
Okay.
try to give a lot of people a voice. So Byron, if you can catch some of them, and I'm gonna put up a couple of them.
Hold on, Ron. Okay. Dale Summers, the fact that slavery had sex with their slave masters had sex with their slaves, even though they didn't consider blacks as 100% human, speaks volume of racist evil. Jonathan Q. Bundy, Florida is trying to introduce legislation to allow underage youth to work to replace the lost migrant workforce. I got, let me see a couple. Hold on just a second, Ron, because I'm going from one device to the other. Okay.
Take your time,
Uh,
my brother. Take your time.
Race is stronger than qualification. Unfortunately, in this country, it is. Just curious, is anyone really surprised by this? We could see this coming a mile away. History is written by the conquerors, not the conquered. We all know that. Trying to destroy us isn't new either, just a continuation of the same efforts from our past. We're just sick of one step forward and two steps back.
Absolutely. Jump. I know I cut you off, Roadman. So Byron, Roadman, if you want to make a comment, and then we go to Riggins
No, no,
and we'll
no, no.
pass
I
it.
want all you. No, I want to hear all you brothers comment because hey, see, I came up when I went to high school in '72 in Grand Rapids, Michigan. That was the only high school in the state of Michigan that offered the Black History class, and you got credit for it. And I took it for 2 years. The second year I took it, halfway through the class, they got rid of it.
Mm.
wow.
And you
I
know,
seen it coming.
it seems like we're going back, John. It seems like we're going back, Roadman.
Now,
And I'll
Ron,
be honest
it
with you.
ain't,
Come on,
no, no,
Glass.
no. It ain't no
He never
seem like
left.
going back. We already have gone back.
Mm-hmm.
And, there's a burden that every role that everybody play. But at the end of the day, again, to enlighten and inform people who don't understand what it is that we're talking about. See, we can do this every night of the week. But if somebody
Yep.
feel that a trail ride is more important, if they feel like who did this to the Joneses over the street, we'll never get anywhere. We got too many young people that do not They're disconnected from what our history has been about. They're disconnected from the civil rights era. They're disconnected from what Martin King stood for, what the Black Panther stood for, what we're standing for, because they've been given this ideology that those are troublemakers because they're speaking. Well, no, we're not troublemakers. We're trying to prevent trouble from happening to us again and again and again. So I agree. Somebody's got to take a role. We all got to get in the ship and we got to row toward the same direction, because if we keep doing, let me just put it this way, and I'll say this and I'm going to be done. If we don't take the House or the Senate back in 2026, we're going to be 50 plus years behind the 8 ball. And in our generation, maybe our kids' generation, they will never see what we started out seeing.
They definitely want glass. I agree with you, John. You got anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, and this ties it all together. I keep saying I almost passed out, but it was just another aha. Now it all makes sense. I hear that Trump is about to, well, in the next day or so, if he hadn't already done it, sign new legislation on a national voting act law
He already done it,
by
True.
executive order.
He already did it.
There you go. And this is where Musk ties in. They are getting that list of people through all of that work that Doge is doing. Because again, they have access to who you are, what race you are, your age, everything. There is nothing, your social, there is nothing
everything.
that he won't know about you.
So
And I'm
guess
gonna
what?
tell you, brothers, right now. I hate to cut in. I don't want to.
No, it's
But if you get a chance, call the Social Security Administration and tell them your Social Security number has been compromised. Because when I first heard about that, hey, and I heard a senator said tell everybody your Social Security number has been compromised by a 19-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
And I called. You know what the lady told me? I'll put that on record. What? They
Let me tell
playing the
you,
whole man, look, my
let me
brothers,
tell
I'm gonna tell you this right now.
Mm.
I am 68 years old. I can still get up and move around. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I got one hell of a right punch.
Hey, bro,
But
that's
I'm
not
I'm,
my
I'm sick. I'm sick and tired of the games.
right.
yeah.
I already knew Trump was a KKK, but do you brothers know? Come April, what was it? April 15th. I don't know. If it was it 15th? I posted it, but the minute I caught it, they took it down. But the KKK is having a rally in the Appalachian Mountains in Virginia. Why?
let me say something, guys.
I saw that.
We're on the front lines of the war right now.
Oh yeah,
It's not going to be a
Civil War.
right. What we're doing right now. If they see us doing this on YouTube and it's public, we're going to be they pull us our information up. These are fighting us. They're fighting us. They're putting out information. They're anti-government. No, we're not. We're anti-racism. We're anti-hate. We're anti-Trump, anti-Musk. Let me tell you something else. There's some books that have been banned. The 1619 Project, banned. The Color
Mm-hmm.
Purple,
Ooh,
banned. Beloved, banned. I know why the caged bird sings, Michelangelo, banned. The hate you give, banned. Roll of Thunder, hear my cry, banned. Sounder, banned.
mm-hmm.
Hey, and Riggins, all of which is what Roadman and I was talking about. The history that got us to where we at now, it
Yes.
would no longer be seen by those who need to see it, because every generation needs to know what happens in the previous generation. And when you started losing that, it's when you started creating a whole new society.
I own those books.
Mm-hmm.
So what
I
we need to
own those
do,
books. I want somebody to come get it from me and see what's gonna happen. I
but
got
no,
something.
but no, but
I
no, but
got
no.
more than a gun. I got more than a
What we
gun.
need to do, what we need to do as men, real men, is now we need to start teaching our children about our history.
Yes.
Because because I taught my children because they're biracial. I got two biracial kids. Hey, it is what it is. But anyway, I taught them. I said, look, just because they taught you about Martin Luther King and Harriet Tubman, that is not Black history.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's just a part of it.
That's on the
You know.
surface.
And then when I told them, I said the first man to die for this very country was a Black man.
Man,
Yes. Crispus Attucks.
Crispus
You
Attucks.
ain't my brother. And you know something? You know how big he was? He was 6'5" tall.
Right. He was the
I'm
biggest
six
target.
foot five. Yeah,
He was
I'm
the
six
target they
five.
shot at. That's right. They can't shoot no.
Man.
Yes, sir.
But hey, now they want an all white military. Did he understand when he said that 67% of our total military is people of color or some other nationality? And then today, I mean, yesterday, what happened when they leaked the information? Oh, it was just an accident.
No.
But he had somebody over there in Russia talking to Picklehead. So all of a sudden now our most precious secrets got leaked. How many times?
Who knows?
Let me tell you something. Russian. First of all, Trump is a Russian plant.
Yeah,
1987.
Clear.
1987. They told him run against Reagan. He said, "No, I don't want to run against Reagan. I don't want to run. I want to wait to run as a Republican." He's been
yep,
groomed since 1987.
yep.
Somebody, Andrew Jordan, whoever this person keeps saying the Exodus generation is here. I want to speak to that. I am a pastor, roadman. So I speak to some of this stuff. The Exodus generation, what she means is this: when Moses went down to Pharaoh. Now watch this. I'm gonna give a little. I done gave the history lesson on Elon Musk. Let me go back to Africa and give you the history lesson on Moses. Egypt is in North Africa. Palestine, North Africa.
Yeah,
Iraq, North Africa.
yeah,
Saudi Arabia, North Africa. Iran, North
yeah,
Africa. Suez
yeah.
Canal was built after World War II to call it
Yes,
Middle East,
sir.
so they could say it's not Africa because that's where the oil at. Okay, so Moses is down in Africa, and Pharaoh said, "Kill all Hebrew boys." Now watch this. It's black on black crime.
Mm-hmm.
Tribes in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
The Egyptian blacks wanted to kill the Hebrew blacks.
Mm-hmm.
So you look up the
Mm-hmm.
Webster, Hebrew says Afro-Asiat. Kill all the Hebrew boys. But his mother and father hid him until he was too loud to keep from crying, put him on the water. Pharaoh's daughter discovers him. His mama becomes his nurse at Pharaoh's house. So he's learning Hebrew way and he's learning
The
Pharaoh's
Egyptian
way
way.
at the same time, Egyptian way.
The Egyptian way. Yeah.
But something inside him tells him he's got to be a deliverer. Watch this. He knows it, but doesn't know how he's going to deliver. He sees the Egyptian beating a Hebrew. He kills the Egyptian. But you can't
That's
kill
right.
the Egyptian one man at a time.
That's
Watch this.
right.
If we get rid of Elon Musk, another one jump up. You get rid of Trump, another one jumps up. But we got to be able to get at the root of the problem. But we need them out the way. But the root of the problem is he kills one man, and the next day you see Hebrew boys fighting. Now y'all quit fighting. What you gonna do? Kill him like you kill that man? He runs for 40 years. God shows up and says, "Go back and tell Pharaoh, let my people go." He goes back to Pharaoh. Now Pharaoh don't even know this is the Moses brought up in the house. He has
Well,
enough.
that's just like
He has enough
that's
sense, enough education to fight Pharaoh on his own level.
but that's just
Every
like
day.
he told what you call it to go into the land and kill everything.
Yeah, Saul, right? And Saul wouldn't do it.
Saul, go in there and kill everything. And what does Saul do?
No, he wouldn't do it. But
He
Moses
wouldn't
gets
do
out,
it.
right. Moses comes out, instead of bringing one man out, he brings 1,000,000 people out. How you know it's 1,000,000 people? The Bible says 660,000 soldiers. Now, if you have 660,000 soldiers and you got women and children, that's over 1,000,000 people. It's over 1,000,000
Hold it.
people.
Hold it,
No,
hold it. And then the thing about it, hold it, the thing about it is this. This is the thing about it. when he opened the Red Sea,
Yes,
they
sir.
wasn't in SUVs.
No, sir.
They wasn't in, them Cadillacs and them BMWs.
No, sir.
They was in carts and on foot.
Yes, sir.
So how long did it take 1 million people to cross?
Right. Yeah. Yes, sir.
You know,
You know, as I listen to you two gentlemen talk, and I'm gonna let you in, Glass. But it's amazing. Every country outside of Africa tries to control Africa because there's so many resources there. There's so many
exactly.
resources that they haven't even tapped into their country. But everybody tries to control this particular country. And every time that somebody tries to rise up out of their country and help the whole of Africa, they end up dying.
Hmm.
They don't make it another day. And
Hmm.
somehow we need to go back in history and we need to investigate some of those people that got killed over the years and who watch they was on. Because if we did the research, we would be surprised why those people got killed. So I know that we on Elon Musk, but look at where he came from.
It's all related. I wish
Look
you
at where he
I wish,
came from.
All
Look
you
at
got,
how they got into the White House. And I'm gonna yield to Byron Glass because we need to do something
go
because
ahead.
she made a
Go ahead.
comment and I Glass want to
Ron, you know it's always time to yield. When we got guests or other opinions that's coming in. Only
Mhm.
thing I'll say about Africa is that it's the beginning of civilization. That's what God intended things to be at. So why do you think evil people want to go there and take power, oppression, and control, force and aggression? You
Mhm.
know, I don't know what this is, Ron. Somebody XA Shadow cheap viewers on streambo.com remove the space. I don't know
I don't
who
know who
this.
that is either. Maybe they trying to give some information, or maybe we going back in history when we was on Blog Talk Radio.
yeah.
Well,
You know,
I mean,
we get all kind of people.
You
here's the
saw
deal.
that? Yeah. Citizen X. Remember Citizen X?
Hmm.
Here's the deal. Here's the deal, Ron. If you had good intentions, then we accept it. But if you had negative intentions, then you're stupid, and we don't even want to acknowledge it
I
Bingo.
know that's right.
Yeah.
because we
But
ain't got
no,
time for
no.
that. If you
I I I,
disagree,
I was
go
I
ahead.
was gonna throw this in there. Uh, if you brothers ever heard of Gail Scott Heron,
Yeah, yeah.
whatever you do, listen to dot dot did it dot dot dash.
Mm.
The damned if I know.
Mm-hmm.
And then listen to the H2O blues. Because what we going through right now is what Richard Nixon tried to do.
Mhm.
Hmm.
And he couldn't do it because he got caught in his second term. Oh yeah. I watched all of that crap.
Hmm.
Just like okay, now they keep Richard Nixon resigned. Who did they put in office? Don't
Maybe
worry, I'm like Cat Williams. I'll wait.
Gerald
Gerald
Ford.
Ford.
Somebody that's been in Congress for 25 years and nobody's ever heard of him. Who do we
Mhm.
have? Oatmeal Man.
Wow.
Because he did the exact same thing Trump did. Hey, you talking about people that attacked the Capitol of the United States of America that killed officers and you let them go?
Hmm. Sometimes you got to get your information wherever you put it in. Glass and me both agree with this, Pastor Regans, John. Sometimes we just gotta listen to people and we can put our own information out there. That's what this two gents is about. We want to allow
Hmm.
people to come in and have a voice, not just listen to us talk. And if you can come in and have a voice, you can't go do
Please
that
do.
anywhere else. I ain't gonna call out nobody, but I'm gonna say you can't do it anywhere else, but you can do it here. So I'm inviting anybody and everybody that's out there listening to our voice, come in.
Don't
Don't
don't be
challenge us.
scared. Don't be
Yeah,
scared. I
challenge
mean,
us.
tell you,
Yeah.
don't be
And,
scared. Uh-uh.
and Glass, before I give it back to you, John, tell us a little bit about your podcast. And I'm glad that you came on tonight.
Me
Okay,
with the
roll,
podcast?
roll, man.
Oh, okay.
Roman, I'm sorry.
Roman,
Okay,
Roman, tell
thank
us about
you.
your podcast, Roman.
I didn't know I've been
Roman, tell us
promoted.
about your podcast, Roman.
Well,
Roman.
see. I had a friend of mine. His name is Jeff, and he invited me on his podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And we started a podcast called the Baritone Brothers because we both got pretty deep voices. And he asked me if I would do it.
Mm-hmm.
And my first one was his story.
Mm-hmm.
And he asked me, okay, what do you mean? I said, HISSTORY. I said, that's what they're teaching our children now. His story, not our story, his story.
Mm.
And then he asked me what would be the topic on my second one. Welcome to America.
Mm.
Like Prince and Prince. Prince said, welcome to America. The only place you can get fired from your job and get rehired and get a $700 trillion tip.
Hey, Roadman.
Yes, sir.
Hey, just to add a little comedy here, man. As black as I am, all of my life I've tried to be Prince. That's my #1 artist of all time. Purple Rain.
It is.
Hey,
It is.
hey, I got everything
Hey,
Prince ever
Glass,
put
you
out,
cut
man.
you
Hey,
your face is halfway cut
hey,
off, so
hey,
lean
Man,
back a
I've
little
seen
bit.
him. I've
hey,
seen him. I've seen him 3 times in concert.
yeah, I saw him in '81, and I saw him in his musicology tour. And hey, look,
Okay.
hey, when he died, Roadman, I thought I was at the
Oh
funeral.
man.
Hey, we're gonna
But
leave that for another
but no. We got to discuss this because look at our icons that they killed.
time. Oh
They killed Michael Jackson.
Mm.
Why? Look at his following all over the world. Okay, they killed Prince. Why? Because
Roman, I'm gonna
Prince.
stop you right there. I want to stop you because I want to make emphasis on that particular point. I
All
was
right.
in Turkey on field
Mm-hmm.
maneuvers. Little kid run up to me talking about Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson. I'm like, how do you know about Michael Jackson? No TV,
Mm-hmm.
no nothing, nothing. And I'm in the middle
Mm-hmm.
of the woods, not woods, but
Mm-hmm.
in Turkey, and I'm like, no, man, I can't believe this. But that
Mm-hmm.
just shows you how much of an influence that Michael Jackson had. And I know we're getting off topic, but
No, we
we
on
need to
No,
top.
know
no,
We on
no,
top.
we
no,
need to
no. That's
know
the
that all of
perfect.
this is relative.
No,
That
no. The thing about it, see, we as brothers, we as men of color, we as God's chosen,
mm-hmm,
we have to talk about this
mm-hmm,
because if we don't, the truth will not be revealed.
mm-hmm.
I got a shirt on right now. It says "Walk by faith, not by sight."
Let me see it. Let me see it. Put it on
Let
there.
me see.
I see it. I see it.
Yeah, I got another one hanging on the back of my hat, and this is my favorite. I don't wear it that much. It says, "I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Lord except by me."
Mm.
I
Let,
am,
let me
man, look.
let me say something else, guys.
Go
We
ahead.
talked about Michael Jackson and Prince and stuff. What about Mickey Leland? You ever heard of Mickey Leland?
Mickey Lily.
Yeah,
Yep. Yep.
Congressman from Houston, flying
Mm-hmm.
in Africa, plane goes down.
yeah.
Mm.
Well,
Think
you
about
got
it.
to look at it. Well,
Think
see,
about
my brother, look. I came up in the 60s and 70s. My mama used to play that old school jazz in the 40s and 50s.
Mm-hmm.
And I did a lot of research. And them brothers like Miles Davis, Coltrane, Cannonball Adderley, man, them cats had to play in them little tiny clubs.
it. Mhm.
Mm.
Just like Ray Charles. They had to play the Chitlin circuit just to make a living.
And
You
you
know,
know what, Roman, that shows you how proud of
progress.
people we should be. We were able to do that and unless you say travel the chitlin circuit and still get the music out there and still
Yeah,
have people listening to it today. And that's important because we are a resilient people. Doesn't matter what they put in front of us. Doesn't matter how they try to take us out of history or they try to write us off or whatever. We're still here, and all the
Reverend.
obstacles that we had to go through. So I know we
Rev,
coming up on the hour.
Yes,
I see
sir.
Byron looking at
okay,
his telephone.
Reverend,
So
Reverend,
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna let
Yes,
you
sir.
have the
please,
word
please tell,
and get us out of
please,
here, Road
please,
Man.
please tell
And then we gonna
please
go
tell
around the.
everybody,
Mhm.
please tell everybody how we made it this far.
We come
Mm,
this far by faith.
amen.
Stony the road we trod. Come on. But our
Hmm?
faith in God. Huh? God of our
Yeah,
silent, the God of our silent tears, God of our weary years. Come
Mm,
on. That's why they don't want you to sing the National Black Anthem. Because it's got a
mm,
message in it. It got a message in
mm.
it. Yes, sir. We come
I
this
hear
far
you.
by faith, brother. But
Amen.
faith without works is dead too.
got
What
that
we're doing right
right.
now, we're putting the work together. Faith without works is dead. Believing is one thing, working is another. Got to put both of them together.
Well, we had another
Amen.
one, Glass. So come on in, and then let John come in, and then we gonna give it back
I'm
to
good.
Roadman and Alpha
I'm
AF
good.
Riggins out there, and he
I'm
gonna
good.
close us out.
Mr.
Cause
Spikes,
I'm gonna tell you, we had a show tonight.
I'm good. I'm glad that
Oh man,
somebody
I'm gonna
else.
tell you, I'm gonna tell you something right now. Y'all in for one heck of a ride.
Hmm.
With me, I don't play. I don't hold my words, and I got that from my mama and my daddy. Because if you hold your words, then the words after that don't mean nothing.
Mm,
You know. And I'm gonna tell you, brothers, this. You know, we used to have record companies. We used to have the Sound of Philadelphia.
mm,
Stack
We used
records.
to have we used to have Motown.
mm,
We used to have Creed Taylor. We used to have Watt Stacks.
Your stack records. Hmm.
What happened?
mm,
What happened?
mm.
Black Wall Street. What happened? Anything that we get a foot into, why do they take it from us or try to take it? Man, my parents, I watched them lose just about everything they had in the 70s and 80s, and there wasn't
Mm,
nothing I can do about it.
mm,
And can't nobody tell me nothing about this government. Nothing.
mm,
Because they ain't nothing but some dirty feeling, feeding.
mm,
Because if you work 50 years of your life, you should have a choice.
mm,
I didn't pay any Social Security all this time. I should have a choice if I want my money back or not. Because if you walk in the bank and you say, hey, I want to close out my account, they don't say nothing. They just give you your money. You walk on out the bank.
mm.
Not the United States government. Why? Because they've been collecting interest on you for all them years. You think they're gonna get that up?
Mm.
It's about time
I
to
know I've
close.
been talking now. I know that everybody else has been talking, and maybe I dominated the conversation a little bit. But Byron, um, John, and AF Riggins, you know what you got to do right now. Roadman, it's been a pleasure to have you in, man. Don't make this your last time. We on this
Oh
thing
no,
every Tuesday night, and we love, and that's what we try to share with other people. You know, you're not the only one that have a voice out there. When you can invite people on like Roadman and into Two Gents podcast, we're just getting started again. We're not new to this, and I'm gonna let Byron go to that part because we've been doing this for a while, Roadman, and we got a little bit of
man!
history build up. But I'm glad to have you in, man.
I
Hey, Ron.
wish I
Yeah,
wish I'd have known earlier
yeah. The only
because
thing,
because
only,
you brothers right there, man. I want to, man.
hey, road man. Only thing I'm gonna say is this: is if we had enough people that would do what we're doing and
Oh
multiply
man,
in fives and tens and fifteens and
oh
twenties,
man,
the message that we're trying to get out, it would
man.
have no choice but to get out. So as long as I got breath, and as long as the
I'm
good
no,
Lord
I
give me the will and the desire to do what I'm doing, road man, I'm one of those. I don't miss my words with nobody. I come only with peace and in truth. But at the end of the
That's
day,
it.
Mama said this: if they got a tongue in the mouth and they give you your opinion, then you better use your tongue in the mouth to give them your opinion. I'm a yield.
There you go, my man.
John,
John.
But I'm gonna leave you with this: McFadden and Whitehead
ain't
ain't
no
no
stop.
stopping us now.
We're on the move.
Gotta keep it moving. John, come on in. You've been sitting there wearing your glasses, kind of quiet tonight.
John been taking it in. I know that.
Absolutely. I just got one thing to say, and I wish there was a lot of conservatives around to hear it. Stay woke. That's just it. Stay woke.
Yeah,
That's all. We got to stay woke.
we got to.
Hey,
We
hey,
got
Mr.
to.
Spikes.
Yes, sir.
Just before we go, I want to show you, if I can, the president of Mozambique that I told you we met along
Oh,
with the Secret Service.
oh,
And
come on, man.
all that over in Africa. I just want to show you. His name was, I'm gonna pronounce it wrong, Thabo Mbeki, but
Yeah.
that's all of us African queen right there.
Yep.
Okay, I can't get it in. I don't want to take it out, but so
No,
what I'm
just
saying
take a picture of it and send it to me real quick before we get off there.
We ain't just out here floating our boat or whatever. What we're talking about is stuff that we feel like can help other people, and none of us are getting paid. We're doing this based on the love for our people and the love of this country to make it better than what it is. And the rate that we're going now, it will never get to where we need to get to.
And I'm gonna tell you this. The Prime Minister of South Africa, when apartheid left, he said if Elon Musk come back there, they will put him in prison for the rest of his life.
Now that wraps a bow around everything. I started with the history of Elon Musk. He wraps a bow around it. If he goes back to South Africa, he's a criminal. But he's in the White House trying to run the United States of America.
Why you think Trump can't lead the United States? He's a convicted criminal. He's a convicted felon. He go anywhere out this country, he will go to prison. Period. And now, and you know, because they said they want to take over Greenland. Well, he got to go to Poland to get the Greenland. Poland said if he come over here, guess what? You won't have a president. You know, I just think everything that's going on is serious. It's a serious joke because people, man, look, I don't care what nobody say. I voted for the system. And that's the bottom line.
These are our last few minutes of the show. I usually wrap it up. Ron, you want me to wrap it up now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Ron said we're not new to it, but we are true to it. We're not new to this, but we're true to this. That's what I've learned from the students I teach. They say, oh, you new to this? I said, no, I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. We're true to what we're doing. Since 2015, we was on Blog Talk Radio. We've come back now. And what I hope that this thing catches fire. It might take a few months or a couple of years. We qualified to go on XM Radio. Our content, our approach, our demeanor, and our level of intelligence. We're just not talking about stuff we're being about. We're talking about. But I don't know if we ever get to XM Radio, but we qualify for that. But I'll say this tonight as we get ready to close. Elon Musk must be stopped. Trump must be stopped. But it takes more than us just talking about it. We got to be about it. And so let us pray. Father, I thank you for the opportunity we've had to share tonight. Thank you for meeting a new brother in the fight, Roadman, one of the baritone brothers. Thank you, Lord God, for us having the courage, Lord God, to change and make a change, to be leaders and not just followers. There are folk out there listening and they're catching the message. Someone said the Exodus generation. Someone else, Lord God, challenged us to want to do more. And we're going to have the haters and detractors. Detractors and haters, Father. We're going to have detractors and haters. For every hater, you've given us favor. If everyone speaks out against us, you, Lord God, has given us the ability that no weapon formed against us shall prosper. We shall be more than conquerors through Jesus Christ who loves us. And though we're not inside of a church house, we're the church outside the house. We're here on a Tuesday night, making a difference in our world to impact our community, our city, and our world. We give your name the praise. In the name of Jesus, we leave this place without your presence. Amen.
Hey, Mr.
Spike,
before we sign off, I want to make sure that there's a disclaimer. Nothing that Pastor Riggins or anybody has said on here is talking about using physical force. We're talking about using our intellectual force by making sure that the masses of the people understand that we are enlightening and informing. So when he's talking about taking out an individual, he's not talking about users in hand. He's talking about users in brain. So when you go to the voting box, you can make a conscious decision to get rid of the waste once and for all. You've been listening to two gents. It's about 9:02 p.m. Central Standard Time. We had a good guest tonight, Roadman from two Baritone Brothers. Let me get it right, Baritone Brothers podcast, and we're going to make sure, Ron, that we find out when they broadcast. We're going to go and support them, check them out, and lend them a shoulder to lean on.
We gonna hook up. We gonna hook this up.
Let us know, Roadman.
Yeah,
That's good.
Peace
I
out.
want to say thank God,
All right, y'all.
thank God Byron
Hey.
didn't get the chance to take off his tie tonight because he didn't have one on. But anyway, we're gonna hook up. We're gonna hook up. That's our signal to get off the air when Byron starts taking off his tie.
All right, y'all.
Y'all take care. Have a good one.
Hey, I see. Hey, I'll see y'all next time.
Bye bye.
All right.